of Steel, the cosplay panel about getting you into quote-unquote hero shape. Before I start, I just want everyone to know that no matter what your shape, you should have fun cosplaying, because that's the most important thing about cosplay. It shouldn't be about whether you're too tall, too short, too big, too little, or muscular or fat. And the thing that I like to achieve with Forged of Steel is I like to show people that you're great no matter what, but if you need to lose the weight for your health, or if you want to fill out your costume better, there is a good way for you to do it. The great thing about fitness is there is no one way, because there is no one type of person. There are three very distinct body types. There's endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. Now these three body types are different in the way that they process fats, proteins, carbohydrates, sugars, and everything in that genre. This seems like a very, anybody want to move forward?
I'll go drum up some more people.
You don't have to drum up people, I'm just, everybody seems spaced out. This is an intimate panel. If you want to move forward, please feel free.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's not a lot of you guys, and we can just sort of address stuff more specifically.
We can.
Answer all the questions.
We can do Q&A. That is an amazing Laura Croft, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone turn and look at the amazing Laura Croft. Thanks, Babs. Okay. Let's start talking about body types. Right? Yeah. Okay. A mesomorph. A mesomorph is quote-unquote the perfect body type because it is able to lose fat and gain muscle very easily. No one is a perfect mesomorph. No one is a perfect ectomorph, and no one is a perfect endomorph. We're all on some type of sliding scale between. That's why everyone is a little bit different. A ectomorph is going to be more the Barry Allen type. He's going to have a higher metabolism. He's going to be needing more calories, more fats in order to grow his body at all. Gosh, I've lost my train of thought. Endomorph, thank you. An endomorph is the complete opposite. You're looking at someone who's more like the Hulk. They have the ability to gain muscle very quickly, very easily, but they don't have the ability to lose the fat very easily. And because of a sliding scale, you have people that are going to be closer to endomorph, mesomorph, and all three classes are going to be somewhere in between.
So where would you say you fall on that scale?
Where do I fall?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm probably endo-meso. I'm leaning closer to an endo, so I have to really work a lot harder at my diet and my training in order to keep my Superman physique, which is more the V-taper that we see in comic books, because that's just how I picture a superhero, is to have that V-taper. What about you?
I have to work crazy hard and eat just stupid amounts of food, not quite as much as you, to put on muscle at all. My old job, people used to assume that because I was thin, I had a high metabolism and it was easy, and it's not. It's not easy for me to stay thin or to put on muscle. It's like my body wants to sort of default to this weird 175 pounds and squishy.
I think everybody wants to default to that. I mean, who doesn't like cheese pizza late on a Friday night?
Yeah.
But as we move past the body types, there are different types of training as well. One of the most popular ones for cosplayers is Sparta training. Do you want to cover Sparta training real quick?
No, I'll let you go over it first. I'll fill in.
Okay. Spartan training uses a high-intensity interval training method with pulmonary occlusion, and in doing so, what your primary goal is to force all of the blood into one area of the body by doing high reps and high weight, then switching to a different part of the body, and because all the blood's in one part of the body, you're essentially stressing out the part of the body that isn't full of all this nutrient-rich blood, and it's easier to tear the muscle and easier to grow the muscle and easier to burn the fat. You do this by doing a couple hundred squats with weight, forcing all the blood to your legs. Then you can do push-ups and pull-ups, and essentially after about 3-4 weeks, you're gonna start looking like the guys from 300. You wanna fill in the gaps?
I'm part of a group of Spartans at Dragon Con in Atlanta, and a lot of the guys do a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of circuit training, a lot of really high intensity, what feels a lot like cardio, even though you think P90X, I guess, is a good sort of example of it. I don't do any of that because I have absolutely no endurance whatsoever. So I don't do 100 reps of anything ever because it kills, like it burns me out, and I see no progress from it. So I've always stayed away from that. I actually stick much more to a classic bodybuilder routine.
That's fantastic. Classic bodybuilder routine is you go through different cycles. You're going to go through a bulking phase, a cutting phase, and a maintenance phase. And bodybuilding is actually classified as one of the least healthy things to do to your body by the ASCM, which is the American Sports College of Medicine. It's just because a bodybuilder will put his body through such hell when they're training. We diet down to near nothing for body fat. We'll carb deplete our bodies and we'll dehydrate ourselves. This puts a tremendous amount of stress on the body. That is an extreme of that's an extreme mode of the fitness that I don't recommend for everyone. What I do recommend is finding something that works for you. You know, whether it's getting outside and, you know, planting daisies until you're blue in the face, or if it's going to the gym and spending several hours in the gym, lifting weights, running. It's all about increasing your cardiovascular endurance. Look at you.
It's better than it used to be.
Good. It's all about increasing your cardiovascular endurance and your ability to burn the fat.
Yeah, and whatever you do, think long term. I've been working out off and on for 9-10 years now, and I didn't see really any progress at all for like the first 5, which sounds really awful until I realized just the other day that I'm currently nearly 50 pounds heavier than I was when I started cosplaying in 2008.
And for a guy, that's a good thing. You know?
Yeah, I was just really, really thin. But this didn't really click to me until I read, forget where. But someone basically summed it up as, you know, think of, if you've ever worked out, you probably found like a routine like add 2 inches to your arms in 6 weeks, or, you know, to your chest, or lose 10 pounds in a month. Like all the crazy stuff where it's like, try this diet for a month and it will fix everything. And this guy put it as, how many of those have you tried? And how much farther along are you since you were last year? And I was like, I've tried like 6 of those. They did like every 2 months. And I'm doing exactly what I was doing a year ago because I kept trying different stuff and just completely throwing out what I'd done and starting over until I started to think like small incremental changes, change. You don't have to do anything drastic or huge. You don't have to go on a starvation diet to lose weight. You can make little changes, and it's the same thing with
that brings up a very important thing. To lose weight, you don't starve yourself.
No.
You actually have to eat more, but what you have to eat more of is cleaner calories. Leaner meats like chicken breast, lean turkey meat. You can even eat a lean cut of steak. You know, it's a slow digesting protein. I'd recommend it for dinner. I love steak.
Yeah. You don't have to go from like eating cheeseburgers to eating nothing but salad. Your body's gonna hate you for that.
Which is what cheat days are for. That way you don't break and just fall off the wagon and just order 5 Domino's pizzas and 6 burgers from Five Guys. Why did I ever do that? I love Five Guys.
And your life will be a lot, if you can find ways to make small substitutions initially, you know, like you're saying, like go from, even if it's doing simple stuff like going from like regular full sugar soda to diet soda. Little ways that you can change the types of things, like eat similar things, just a healthier version. You know, if you need sweet, like some fruit in for stuff that's sugary, you know.
Now, talking
you're-
about fruit.
That's not, it'll make a big difference. You can hold that for long term, which you'll actually see progress as opposed to a week and then you'll give up, which is what most people do when they try.
A lot of people think that switching just from a candy bar to a cup of fruit is going to be a lot healthier. And while it is in the long run, you still need to watch the amount of sugar that is in the fruit, because there is a lot of natural sugar to, you know, a little fruit cup that you can buy at the store or the gas station. Never buy it from the gas station, very important. But you have to watch out for those hidden carbs, all that natural sugar. And while it is a great source, you know, of a quick burst of energy, if you don't use all of it in the activities that follow, your body will convert it to fat, and you're going to have to work to get it off later, just as you would a slice of pizza or a burger. Man, I keep going back to pizzas and burgers. Let's talk about P90X. You've done P90X, haven't you? No? Anybody done P90X? There's one, right in the back. P90X is a very great aerobic anaerobic style of training. Aerobic meaning it's high intensity for cardiovascular training, and anaerobic meaning that it's actually stressing and tearing the muscle. Now, this is a good type of tearing, not the type of tearing where you have to be carted off in a little stretcher. What this does is it grows the muscle, and the bigger the muscle is, the stronger the muscle is, the more calories the muscle needs to sustain itself. So that's the entire principle behind the training for P90X. How many people have tried CrossFit? When did you get hurt?
I'm always hurt.
See? P90X is much safer than CrossFit is.
I don't know, I put muscles on P90X.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hurt yourself doing anything.
You can hurt yourself doing anything, but I see the most injuries in a rehab center coming from CrossFit. CrossFit is not for the average person. They have you doing power lifts and all that fun stuff. And if I can give you one piece of advice today, it's stay away from CrossFit.
CrossFit makes you really good at CrossFit. And
That's about it.
yeah, sadly. I mean, look at people who've been doing CrossFit for a long time, body types don't really change. I mean, you'll see like skinny people at CrossFit who stay skinny, and fat guys totally kicking the skinny guy's ass because they're just really good at CrossFit. They don't necessarily change. So.
The reason that CrossFit is dangerous is because powerlifting moves aren't meant for weekend warriors or average Joes. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation. It's more of the training style is more fit for a Olympic lifter as opposed to somebody who's just looking to get fit. If you're looking to get fit, there's personal trainers at a gym, there's people online, there's magazines that you can look for a diet, there's dietitians, there's nutritionists, and if you can find a good manager at a GNC, they may not actually talk you into buying something that you don't need. Were you pointing at me?
Yeah.
I am a manager at a GNC in Georgia, and anytime someone comes in, they ask, what do I need to lose weight? You need to adjust your diet. You need to hit the gym. I can sell you anything in this store, but if you do not do those two things, you will not lose weight. You will not see the results that you want. And 9 times out of 10, I get repeat business just because I'm honest with them. There is no magic pill. There's no magic bullet. Being fit is hard work. And if you're willing to do that hard work, you can actually achieve something really fantastic with your body.
Yeah, it's not easy to get, like, if you're not in shape, it's not easy to get there, but it's completely doable. Absolutely anybody can get as far as they want. I mean, you can look at any number of progress photos and like inspirational posters of people who have made amazing progress online. It's just, it takes work, and the amount of work that you're willing to put into it is directly proportional to what you'll get out of it, basically.
And if you're injured, wait till that injury is healed, because the only thing that you're going to do by going back to the gym and working that injured area is you're going to injure it further, and it's going to take more time to heal. So if you have a strained rotator cuff, a busted knee, don't go work those things. Take some time off. It's good for your body.
Yeah. As someone who's had arthroscopic knee surgery, needs it on his left shoulder, and is currently doing hand therapy for my left wrist, I can second that.
All right, I'll tell you what. Since we have a smaller group, let's address a few personal issues. Anybody have any personal issues that they want to?
Questions, goals.
Anything like that they want to share?
Why are you guys here?
That's an excellent question. What brings you guys to the panel today? You just want to stare at a couple beefy guys? Anybody? Bueller. Has anyone seen Ferris Bueller?
I'll say, I think the picture that I used for the panel I was on before this is me as a character called Power Guy. I'm wearing underwear and cape, and that's pretty much it. And that's what I'm most known for online, is for having abs. I don't today. I don't this week. One of the things that a lot of people like that I meet at cons don't realize is I do not look like those photos all year long. Like I said, I go through a fairly typical, in a lot of ways, a fairly typical bodybuilder routine of like trying to bulk up, cutting back down, and then I do some of the things that are not always the smartest thing, but I've had good luck with it. I haven't had anything. I don't know people who have had really bad results doing the you talk about carb depletion and dehydration. Those things are not for people who are. That's not for everybody. It's not for average people. You've got to have really low body fat stuff for that to do anything besides be bad for you. But I do all that, so for 3 days in Atlanta, I look the best that I do all year. And those are the only pictures anybody ever sees. And people assume that I look that way all the time. I don't. I work out for those, I work out for cons. I started getting in shape to wear costumes.
That brings up another interesting point. You see cosplayers all the time, myself, and him included, where we're just ripped down, and we look like we don't have an ounce of fat to our body. And like you said, we're not like that all year long. I'm chipmunk faced around Christmas just because I've been eating anything and everything trying to gain weight. My typical diet is somewhere around 10,000 calories. When I go on a bulking cycle, it is pretty much 10,000 calories of anything that's slower than me. Yes, I've chased down a chicken before. But like I said, that is an extreme. And when you see people on the newsstand or at Walmart when you're shopping, or what do y'all have? Do y'all have Walmarts out here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
They're just as bad as they are right here.
Awesome. So, whenever you see the people on the magazines or in the movies when they don't look like they have any fat to them, they've been training specifically for that moment. Even Henry Cavill, after he filmed Superman, the shirtless scene on the oil rig, I believe he said he had 3 pizzas, 2 burgers, a couple pints of ice cream, and the best carb coma of his life. So even Superman has his dietary needs. It depends. It's dangerous. Let's see, different types of training.
Yeah,
What do you do?
The plan that I'm currently on is one of the Spartans sort of adapted this plan. So what I do right now is it's a 10-week plan, and every 2 weeks we do something completely different. So the first 2 weeks is like what Jonathan was talking about earlier. It's really high rep, trying to just pump as much blood into muscle groups as you can. It's incredibly hard because you're trying to do like like when I say high reps, I'm talking like 20 to 25 or 30 reps of a single exercise. And I do supersets. So do like an isolation exercise, like I'll do like leg extensions on one of those machines, then do 20 of those, and then go do 20 squats with a barbell, which is incredibly hard. I'll do that for 2 weeks, and then each cycle after that, basically the weights go up and the repetitions drop. So by week 10, you're doing sets of 4, like 3 to 5, with pretty much as you can lift. But every day is a different, you like chest, back, arms, very classic bodybuilder split of 4 to 5 days a week. And that's what I do, and cycle that every 10 weeks.
Now, not everybody needs to do that. A lot of people prefer working several muscle groups all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, they burn fat, they get an aerobic workout, and they tone. You'll see this prevalent in a lot of guys that hit the gym 3-4 times a week, or 2 or 3, but have a very nice tone, but they aren't very large. And when I say very large, I mean probably 195 and up.
Yeah, I'm 6'4", I currently weigh 210.
I'm 5'10", I weigh 245.
Yeah, so just for reference there. Like I said, my biggest problem is putting on muscle. I had decent results for a while doing like a very, like a 3-day-a-week routine, doing like a full body workout 3 days a week. And that works really well for some stuff. I got what I thought was, good shape. That's how I got abs the first time. But I was like 172. And I couldn't put on muscle that way. So I had to, this is something that I found that works for me. Because my biggest concern is adding muscle because my body doesn't want to keep it. So I have to fight really, really hard to add it on. And that the other thing is the more muscle you've got, the easier it is to lose weight. So once I go through a cycle like this, it's a lot easier to slim back down for conventions.
Just so you know, I did have a PowerPoint all ready for this, but as I was looking through my briefcase this morning, my USB drive was gone. So I don't know what happened when I was checking my bag or knocking the table off the stage, but had it all planned out. It was nice and pretty. So everything that we're doing is kind of spitballed here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. Let's see, a different type of training. They're making an announcement.
We learned what happens when the mics go away. Apparently they're making an announcement on the PA and every mic in the building shuts down.
Oh.
So eventually it'll come back.
Eventually. Different types of, there it is. Awesome. Different types of training are going to include things that are going to be more centered around cardiovascular training. And that's going to be the most popular type of training that you're going to find, whether it's in a group class or in a group setting. The reason being is it's easier to get your heart rate up, and a lot of people believe that bringing your heart rate up is actually what burns the fat. Not necessarily true. Your body does require the glycogen, which is the sugar that is stored to be burned when you're training. But hey guys, coming in. Is that Commissioner Gordon? Okay. Awesome. But what a cardiovascular training session does is ups your endurance, essentially. In doing a cardiovascular training exercise, what you need to do is you need to remain nitrogen negative. And in doing a nitrogen negative training, let me start over because my brain just skipped. Okay, a nitrogen negative diet actually consists of a lower amount of protein and a higher amount of carbohydrates. That sounds a little bit weird because the carbohydrates, are quote unquote the enemy. Well, carbohydrates are actually the fire for the fuel for your body. If you don't have any carbohydrates in your system, you're not able to burn anything. I've seen people do keto diets where they don't take in any type of carbohydrate. And what happens is they drop a ton of weight. They don't realize that they're actually catabolizing the muscle, where the muscle is actually being eaten by the body as fuel. Yes, you're going to lose a lot of weight, but you're going to lose fat and muscle. Now, to remain nitrogen neutral, you need to take in roughly the same amount of carbohydrates and proteins throughout the entire day. And in doing this, you're not going to grow and you're not going to shrink the muscle, but you are going to lose fat. Most bodybuilders, like Steven and myself, we maintain a nitrogen positive diet, meaning that the protein that is broken down in our bodies is higher than the carbohydrate numbers that we intake. This is fun to just talk about. How many people are actually training right now? I got a Laura Croft, I got Tom, I got my man in the back. Awesome. So, nobody else is training? Nobody else is lifting, doing P90X, going for a jog with the dog at night? Anybody? Wow. So guys, what brought you to the panel?
We're serious.
I'm dying to know.
Well, you guys, like right here in front, why?
Well,
Was
Rick-
you curious or?
Yes, sir. You, in the back, yes.
So I have a desk job during the day, and
Okay.
I'm trying to find time to work out. And I can ride my bike to work occasionally.
That's great.
And so you mentioned P90X.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy who made that also makes this much shorter 10-minute workout. Have you heard of it? Do you recommend it?
I recommend anything that gets you up and gets you moving. If you're looking for any kind of fitness, I would definitely try it. Or if you can condense the P90X down to a 30-minute routine, I would definitely try it. You can actually space out your cardiovascular training, which is riding your bike to and from work, and your P90X training. You can space it out, that way your body has more of a consistent burn throughout the entire day rather than just depleting you completely in the morning or completely at night.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who basically ask that exact same question. A lot of people like don't want to start working out because they think they need to give it 2 hours a day every day. Not true. If you're not doing anything now, anything you do is better than what you're doing. It's just math. You know, one is more than anything is more than zero. If you've got 10 minutes a day, awesome. If you've got half an hour a day, awesome. If you can get in 45 minutes like 3 times a week,
That's amazing.
that's really all you need to like actually see substantial progress.
The most important thing is consistency.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged after 2 or 3 weeks. You're in this for the long haul. You're in this for the health. You're not in this to, see your six-pack because, nobody sees their six-pack 24/7. What you want is you just want to be able to establish a certain time where you can say, okay, I'm going to go work out for 30 minutes, and after that, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, for me to be consistent, I had to set a schedule. I'm self-employed, so my schedule moves a lot. Obviously, because I can be flexible, which ends up usually meaning that I don't have a schedule, which is terrible when you need to be consistent. So I just had to give myself a time, like, this is when I work out, these are the days, this is the schedule, this is the plan. Whatever method works for you to do that, there are dozens of apps for Android and iPhone if you want to use your phone. I used to just carry a clipboard. Some people write stuff on a calendar. Literally if you have a system for keeping track of stuff, don't invent a new one. Just add it to whatever you do. If you have a calendar, put workouts on it. Just start doing something.
Before you work on your cosplay, say, all right, I'm gonna go do 10 squats today. Tomorrow, I'm gonna do 20 squats before I start my cosplay working. And just double it, each day of the week. By the end of the week, you're doing 140?
Yeah.
I'm horrible at math. You're doing a lot of squats by the end of the week. But the point is, you're making time for it. And you're always going to make time for the things that you have to do. But this is something that if you love it and you need to do it, then you're going to do it. You're going to find time for it. So
Yeah.
just pigeonhole like 30 minutes, try it for a couple of weeks, And after that couple of weeks, it'll be in your skin, it'll be under it, and all you'll want to do is just work out. You'll be aching for that 30 minutes every day.
And that's literally a physiological thing, like when you start to exercise more, your body gets used to exercise and you will actually feel better. Exercise releases chemicals in your brain that make you happier,
Serotonin, hooray!
and your body will actually crave exercise if you stick to it consistently. And again, that's the thing where it's consistency is key. Another thing, like, we can't tell you, like, we don't want to just say, like, here's our workout, this is what we do, because we're at a different point in our, in what we do. We like what we do.
I spend 2.5 hours in the gym. Who would want to do that? Nobody? Okay.
I've been working out with my girlfriend a lot lately, and her patience lasts about 45 minutes.
My wife does too.
So if she can make it about that long at the gym, I can keep her there for about an hour, which is, what my workouts usually go. Some of the ones that I have run longer, I've had to tailor things down to be less than that, because after 45 minutes, she just doesn't care anymore. Her patience is done. Like, doesn't matter what we're supposed to do, it's just not really going to happen, because there's not going to be any effort there. So I've had to adapt. When I first started, I could make it half an hour at the gym, and after that I was burned out no matter what I'd done. So I had to tailor stuff to that. It's gotten so I can do more. But
He also brings up another great point. Having a workout partner is going to keep you true to your workout. So whether it's with your spouse, I'm looking at the two of you right there. I don't know if y'all are married, but y'all make a cute couple. All right. Now, don't look behind you. I'm talking to you. But if you have a workout partner, it's gonna help you go to the gym. Like, oh man, I gotta go meet so and so because they're waiting on me to start their workout. They're gonna help push you in your workout because you're always gonna want to be just a little bit better than they are, or a lot better than they are, depending on how you're training.
yeah, when I got started, my roommate and I started working out together, and that made all the difference. Eventually, I moved out on my own. I had to do it by myself, but I never would have gotten consistent with it without someone else there to help, so we could both keep each other motivated and stay on track. And now it's my girlfriend. Like, even before she started working out with me, she would actually be like, don't you need to go to the gym? Like, it's 10 o'clock. You said you'd be there an hour ago. You get off the couch, go. And now we both go. But having someone else either to be accountable to or to help you stay accountable makes a world of difference. And there's studies that show that too. So.
And never feel self-conscious in a gym.
Oh God, no.
Never. There's a beautiful weightlifting meme that's going around, and it's a stack of weights, and they're just piled up on top of one another, and it says, remember, even Mr. Olympia had to start somewhere. And if you don't know who Mr. Olympia is, it's a bodybuilding competition. The goal of the little iconic saying is to show you that it doesn't matter how you start, where you start, or what you're doing when you start. As long as you start and you stay consistent with it, you can achieve greatness.
Yeah. We all start somewhere. This guy was not born looking like this.
Baloney.
There's another thing with it's do the best you can with what you have where you are. This goes back to what I was saying to the question earlier of trying to find time. Whatever time you have, whatever resources you have, you don't need a trainer. You don't need to work out 5 days a week. You don't even need a gym. Whatever you can do, if it's more than what you're doing, is what you should be doing. You can get in shape with push-ups and squats and running around your block or running the stairs in your apartment complex.
Like we said earlier, if you're not doing anything now, doing anything is going to help your health.
Yeah, so it's, again, whatever you can do. And I know I have days where it's my gym closes fairly early because it's a smaller gym. So there are times when I've only got half an hour and I really want to skip a workout. I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing. It's half an hour is more than nothing. So I'm going to get more result out of doing half a workout than out of doing no workout. So that's how I stay consistent with this. The days where I don't think I have as much time, I do it anyway. I just go use the time that I've got. Or, like at cons and stuff. Dragon Con, I mean, we go out, I fly out now on Wednesday, so I'm there from Wednesday till Monday. And this is like for me, that's like the peak of the year for trying to be in shape. So I have to make time at the con to go work out, because that's part of the schedule of how things work for me. And it's not the most enjoyable thing in the world necessarily. Everyone else is like, we're gonna go get drinks and then eat it like a whole pizza. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym.
And I'm gonna do crunches until
Yeah.
I'm blue in the face.
But for me, it's worth, the results are worth it. If you ever feel like you don't have time to work out, think about, and this is true, President Obama, while he was campaigning for president, made time to work out 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week, even on the campaign trail. And after he became president, he still does the same thing. So if the President of the United States can find half an hour a day to work out, you probably can too.
Trying not to make a political joke.
So we all feel like we're really busy, and working out is also, it doesn't have to be a big deal.
You don't have to post it to Facebook and Instagram to actually see your gains, I promise.
Yeah, you don't need fancy clothes, you don't need a lot of stuff. You just
Need you.
just do, take half an hour, find something that you can do in half an hour and go do it. And do it a couple times a week until you find something else to do. And the more you do this, the more you're gonna find things that you like and you don't like, and you're gonna talk to people, and you'll read stuff, and you'll find more things until you get to a plan that works really well. Or you find a trainer, if you're lucky, you get a trainer who's awesome, who can tailor stuff for you, and you got the money for that, fantastic. I never had a trainer, I was way too poor to have a trainer. I just had friends and the internet, and I tried stuff until I found something that worked.
And the thing is, at most gyms, you're gonna have trainers that are just hanging out because a lot of people, have cut back and you don't have the money to spend on a trainer. So if you ask the trainer, hey, could you actually, show me if my form is right on bench press, or am I doing the squat correctly? Things like that, they'll take time out of their day just to come show you and make sure that you're doing it safely.
I'm going to assume that most of you, like us here, are huge nerds. That's why you're at a comic book convention.
Anybody here a nerd? I got one or two. Okay, good.
Yeah. Fun fact, gym rats and bodybuilders are totally geeks too. They're just geeks about muscle and fitness and stuff and getting in shape. And just like the rest of us, they love to tell people how to do things. So if you go to the gym and you find someone who's doing something,
Bro science.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Most of those guys will be more than happy to help you out, because they love, just like us, they love to talk about what they do and tell you about the plan that they're on and why it works and the exercises they're doing and how to do it. And they also really like to be right, just like us. So it's not hard to get help doing this stuff either, if you don't have someone who knows what they're doing to show you.
All right, we have about 10 minutes left. Anybody have any questions, personal or general?
We kind of rambled over a wide range of stuff here, so.
So if you need anything more specialized or laser cut.
Or confused about anything that got said.
Yes.
Well, one thing before you said, you can substitute regular soda with diet soda, but I think diet soda also has dangers.
Yeah, there's
Everything
risks
has
to it.
dangers. If you go outside, you're exposed to countless dangers, including the sun. Not all of us are Superman and get our powers from the sun. Most of us get skin cancer.
My point there was that you don't need to drastically, you don't need to go from, eating whatever you eat now to eating the way Jonathan eats. You don't want to just dive into 10,000 calories of chicken and rice a day. Your body's not going to like it, you're not going to like it, and it's not going to work. You have to work to get your way there. Most people, countless studies have shown this, when people try and go I don't know about you, but I hate talking about being on a diet. It's what I have to say so people understand what I'm doing, but I don't diet. I have have a lifestyle that involves my eating a certain way. I eat pretty much the same way all year round with minor variations here and there for a week or two at a time, depending on what my goals are. But most people that try a diet, they might stick to some diet, Atkins or whatever for like a month, 3 months, 6 months, and they lose weight and it works great, and then a year later they're exactly where they were. Because eventually if you go on a diet where you change things drastically, at some point you break. If it's not what you're going to do with your life, at some point you revert back to normal. So it's much easier to make small tweaks to normal and hold that in the long run, and you will see in the long haul greater results with small improvements along the way.
It's
Yeah.
like getting into a cold pool. You don't want to do it, so you slowly get in. And while it's painful at first, after a while, you're acclimated to the pool and you're having fun. So, my best advice for diet and exercise is to slowly get into the pool.
Yeah. And the same thing holds true of getting in shape, building muscle, getting stronger. You're not going to go in one day and like bench press the bar, and the next day throw the 45-pound weights on each end and just like crank out a bunch of reps. And if you do, you're probably going to end up in the hospital afterwards.
Or you're turning slightly green.
Yeah. It's small incremental change. Just plan to make little changes all along the way. Don't think you're just going to like jump to some new level. Because unless you actually are a superhero, odds are not good that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was the point I was trying to make there, basically.
Great question. Yes, ma'am.
So I came in late, I may have missed this already, but
Godzilla just walked past. I'm sorry, I am listening.
a lot of Godzilla this weekend. So during the course of your journey, from when you first decided this is what you wanted to do until you were happy, did you have any significant setbacks at any time that made it difficult to continue, but you eventually overcame?
I have fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a central nervous system disorder where it literally feels like all of my bones are being broken and my flesh being pulled off of them. It's a huge setback in what I can accomplish with my training, but I don't let it stop me. I also broke my back when I was 22, and come to find out my vertebrae never fully healed. So I'm doing 700-pound deadlifts with a broken back. Fun stuff. The point is, nothing can stop you from doing what you want to do. The only thing that can stop you is you. And you can have setbacks all day long, but as long as your heart's in it, you cannot be stopped.
Yeah. I don't have anything major like that. I've had knee surgery. I've got a tear in my shoulder that someday will need surgery that I can't afford. So I don't have medical insurance because I'm self-employed. I mean, I do, but I have to pay for it myself. So I have minor stuff. So every so often, if I'm not really careful with what I do, I'll re-aggravate something and have to step back. And it's like we were talking earlier about like injuries and stuff. It's really frustrating, especially when you feel like you're making a lot of progress. If something, a hiccup happens, you get hurt, family emergency, prevents you from getting into the gym for a while or something, life happens, and it's going to. And you're not always going to be able to do things the way you want, when you want, where you want. But as long as you get back to it, you can keep making progress again. Your body is amazingly resilient. And your body does this crazy thing where like you could stop, like if you've been working out really well or doing pretty good, you could stop for a month. You're not going to lose everything you did, and your body's going to get back to where you were a lot faster than it did the first time for you to get there. If it takes you 6 months to get to a new place and you get set back for a month for some reason, it's not going to take you another 6 to get there again. You'll get back pretty quick. And yeah, again, as long as you stay consistent with stuff. Like for me, I didn't have a lot of good advice when I started out doing a lot of this, trying to get in shape, weightlifting, and going back and forth between like trying to build muscle, trying to lose weight, trying to do everything at once. I had a lot of times where I just got really frustrated because I was doing a lot, but I didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything. And finally turned out it was because I was either trying to do too much, most of the time too much, or doing conflicting things at the same time and not knowing it. And once I had someone just point out, like, you can't do both those things. You know, like, you can't eat nothing, like, you can't, you know, cut your calories in half and expect to somehow get bigger arms. Like, those things don't happen at the same time. You can get your abs, but you can't build arms at the same time. Like, there's trade-offs. Your body's amazing, but it can only do so much. So, yeah, there's always stuff that's gonna happen, but as long as you keep trying and get back on doing stuff, you're gonna do better.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Boom.
How do you determine your body type? Like, is there a place that you can go?
You can actually look at the body types on the internet, but it's a trained eye can see it fairly easily. But it's after you've been in the gym for a little bit and you have adjusted your diet to a medial diet, where it's, you know, this is typically what you would have to eat in order to grow and lose weight. You have to determine, okay, eating this, I'm still gaining weight in the areas that I don't want.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's, if you know, as you start working out, as you start changing what you eat, you're gonna notice your body's going to respond to some things and not to others. And you'll see, you know, how easy or difficult is it to adapt the way you want to. You know, if you feel like you're skinny, you're trying to put on muscle, and you're eating 3,000-4,000 calories a day and nothing's happening, and you're still staying skinny, then obviously, you know,
Something needs to change.
yeah, obviously that's the end of the spectrum you're on. You know, you're very young or whatever. And if you're like trying to lose weight and you cut your calories back, or you change what you do and you can't do it, then you're the other end. So you have to try and make a change, and you see how your body response. And like you said, it's like there's 3 types and you're one of those 3.
There's
It's
a sliding scale.
It's a generalization that makes it easier to sort of categorize people. That's like we do with everything.
Real quick to describe them, the mesomorph is going to be a upside down triangle. So they're going to have a thinner waist and broader shoulders. A endomorph is going to be just a normal isosceles triangle. They're essentially going to carry more weight in their hips than they do in their neck, their shoulders, and arms. And a ectomorph is going to be pretty much a straight line. They're not going to be a triangle at all. But that's one quick and easy way to identify body types,
Yeah.
is triangles. Anybody else? All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming. And with the last thought, if you're going to get fit, please stay consistent. Don't stop because you don't see a result after 1 or 2 weeks. It takes time to see what you want. And it takes time to see the potential that you have. So the best thing to do is stay consistent. Just drive through it. Keep
Yeah.
working.
That's the hardest part. Hit that like 2-3. If you can punch through that like 2-3 week barrier, you're gonna be fine. That's where most people try. That's where most people fail. Diets and workouts alike. That's what most people do. And you can get past that, then you're not average anymore. You're on
You
your
gotta
way to
beat
being
average.
So.
I think I just quoted something from work. Thank you very much for coming,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming out, guys.